How's it shooting, y'all? The name's T-Lewi. I'm back from Colorado. I've been back for a while now, and I'm here to tell you the awful story of how I got back. So, Ian, my dad, and I left with only a couple of bags. We got to the airport, and, you know, things going pretty smoothly. We got in line to check on our check-on bags, and there was a family ahead of us with about 8 members, 6 kids, 2 parents. There were 3 brothers and 3 sisters, even split. The eldest brother looked like he was visiting his friends from college. The teenage brother looked like he was going through his emo phase. And the youngest brother was a toddler. 1 set of twins and 1 little baby that looked like it had been born a few months ago. And the dad was arguing with the lady at the desk about whether he should carry on this bag or check it on. And the lady was saying he should carry it on, but the guy was saying he wanted to check it on. And they were having a big argument about it. We were waiting there for about 45 minutes. About 15 minutes of us waiting was the dad arguing with the lady, and the rest of it was the family checking on their bags. Almost every single member of the family had about 4 pieces of luggage. I know the mom had about 7, and one of the little twins, the little girls, you could tell they were really tight because they were sharing jewelry. They talked almost exactly the same. They were dressing exactly the same. The mom, her voice was so annoying. She was like, I'm gonna put my luggage on the thing, honey. Are you okay with that? I'm gonna put my luggage on the thing so we can check it on the plane, honey, okay? She was very annoying. We checked our baggage on, no problem. And we went through the TSA, which is probably usually the worst part of this, without a doubt. Flying commercially, the TSA is an absolute nightmare. Bring on a bottle of water about this big, they'll shoot you. You know, water is explosive now. That's a thing. Only in the airport, though. Everywhere else, it's perfectly fine. But in the airport, water is an explosive material. Ian went through no problem. My dad went through no problem. And you're supposed to take large electronic devices outside of your bag so they can be scanned in different bins. But I didn't do that because I didn't know at the time. We went to wait outside the gate on our plane. And then, you know, the boarding call with the plane was called. And we had to get on the plane. So the guy who took our tickets named David, or Dave, or whatever his name was. And if you've seen my Instagram video, you know that Dave is not exactly a very nice person, or logical. He seemed nice at first. He scanned our tickets, and then he asked us if we had a luggage card. And my dad said, yeah, that's the card you have that proves you have luggage on the plane. David looked at it and said, okay, you don't need this anymore. I'll throw it away for you. And my dad said, okay, that's fine. And David threw away our luggage tag. And then we get on the plane, and we're waiting there for a long amount of time. We're just sitting in the plane, and every time the pilot starts up the engine, like the back of the plane's like, which is not normal because the plane's supposed to sound like. The pilot didn't think this was normal, and there was a problem with the generator and air conditioning in the back. The pilot called in some handymen from about 2 towns over, and this is Colorado. We're in the mountains, and the handyman took about 30 minutes to get there, and they got held up in traffic, so it took them about an hour to get there. And when they got there, they couldn't fix the problem, so they had to go back for help, so that took another hour. And then the handyman come back with help, and they finally say, we can't fix it. You know, we're about 2 hours overdue because the plane was supposed to leave at 4, and we're sitting in there, and it's about 6 o'clock, and the plane says, the plane speaks now. The pilot says that he's not going to keep us here any longer if we don't want to. We can get off the plane, but if we do, we can't get back on. Second we step off the plane, the pilot cancels the flight, so we probably made the right decision. And we get... Sorry, I'm popping my knuckles. We get off the plane, and we go back to David to get our luggage out of the plane, because we have to get our luggage out. And so, of course, we don't have our luggage tag because David threw it away. And we walk up to David, and he asks, hello sir, may I have your luggage tag? Because we have to show what luggage is on the plane, our name, our identity, prove we have luggage on the plane. And my dad says, you threw away the luggage tag. And then David, of course, disagrees with him because David is an awful person. I hope I can find it in my heart one day to forgive David, but not today, not tomorrow. Definitely wasn't yesterday, because I haven't forgiven him yet. But he was just such a bad person, and we were sitting there for about an hour. There was a very long line, and what got me was one of the luggage was a Nerf gun in a box. that's another story right there. But they couldn't find it. They couldn't find a blue Nerf gun in a big black cardboard box with the picture of the gun on it. Ian and I had time to go to the gift shop and get food because we were hungry. We hadn't eaten since lunch, and it's about 7 o'clock right now. We're sitting there eating chips, and my dad, after an hour, comes over and says to us, okay, David told us we need to go through that door over there. And what bothered us about that was we looked at that door and it said, no turning back from this point. Like, once you go through that door, you can't come back through it. And once we got to the other side of the door, we looked at it and it says, do not enter. So we said, okay, we're going to trust David for some stupid reason. So we go through, and of course, the man at the desk that David said we needed to talk to said that we needed to talk to David about our luggage. And of course, now we can't get back to David. Ian's sitting there having a nervous breakdown because all of his clothes that he owns are in his bag, and I'm sitting here feeling sorry for the guy. And I'm also extremely mad at David because he knew very well what he was doing when he threw away our luggage tag. He knew exactly what he was doing. Oh, that man. David. Oh, David. David. We're waiting there, and I don't exactly know how we got our luggage out of the plane. It still seems like a completely bleak operation that could not be finished in any possible way, but somehow we got our luggage back and we got our rental car to go drive to Denver, 3 hours away. It's nighttime. It's 8 o'clock. We need to drive to Denver now. And we drove to Denver. It's a small rental car, you know, one of those low-down cars. We couldn't fit everything in the trunk, so we had to build a massive pile of luggage in the passenger front seat and in the middle back seat. So I'm on one side, Ian's on the other, and Ian's sitting behind my dad, who likes to recline his seat and crush the knees of whoever's behind them. Well, Ian's sitting over here for 3 hours, his headphones are broken, and he lost them, so he's sitting there in silence, nothing to do. His kneecaps are being crushed alive by my father's seat, who is reclined for some reason while he's driving. And I was actually recording an Instagram video when we were driving away from the airport. That is on my Instagram. Go watch it right now. Stop the video, watch it, come back. Oh, wait. You didn't do it? Good. Okay, so we drive to the Wendy's in the next town, and we get food. This is the last time we eat in 32 hours. Ian and I are happily eating our burgers because we haven't eaten since those little chip bags we had earlier, and before that, lunch. You know, we're growing boys. We spurt almost every week. Spurt? Anyway, we drive to Denver, and we stop at a ski resort, Colorado's riddled with them, in Vail, Colorado, and we get out. Ian is stretching, and he's having a hard time walking. It looks like he's walking on 2 broken legs and 2 left feet at the exact same time. And he's walking into the bathroom, and he's complaining the whole time about how his legs are killing him, and he's also being thankful for the fact that he could finally get his luggage out of the plane, but he's also still really mad at David at the same time. I also share his feelings, except I don't have broken legs. So we walk back to the car, and Ian gets to the point where he can't take it anymore, and he says, no, I'm not sitting down on this seat anymore. Talmadge, you and I are switching places. I say, okay, and then we do. And then my legs start to break slowly. And he's sitting over there having a great time. His legs are healing up just nicely. He popped them back into socket, and the bone marrow's healing like Wolverine. And we drive the rest of the way to Denver. So we both share about the exact same amount of time of pain in our legs, so you know, it's pretty fair. And then we drive up to the building where the Mexican drug cartel is located. I'm not even joking. It's called the Roadway Inn in Denver. I give it half a star on Yelp, mostly just because it has beds and a floor and walls and a ceiling. The rest is awful. So my dad pulls up, and we're already looking like, oh, this place is really, really shady. It's not good at all. It's a pretty sketchy place, sketchy and shady. And not a good combination. My dad pulls up, he talks to the guy, he gets us a room. Room has 2 beds, so of course Ian and I have to share a bed. That happens too much. I cannot tell you the countless times I've had to share a bed with Ian, and it's not fun. It's not fun. Ian is what we call a sadistic sleeper. He likes to roll over onto you, slap you in the face while he's asleep, steal all your covers. It's not fun at all. It's really not fun. most of this is not fun. All of this adventure right here is not fun. Not good at all. I'm dreading the fact of having to sleep in the same bed with Ian, but little did I know that's the least of my worries. We pull in to our room, which is on the first floor out of the 2 floors that exist in this inn, and next to us, about like 2 guys open the door in the room next to us, and they're like looking around. A car pulls up next to ours. About 5 guys get out of it. They put bags on their shoulders, and they walk into the room with the 2 guys already in it. Now, there's only 2 things that this can be. Something homosexual, or a drug trade. I'm betting on drug trade, because this place looks shady, and you know, cocaine. It's big in Colorado, I think. I don't know. I wouldn't know. Or would I know? I wouldn't know. So, we have a bunch of coke dealers in the room next to us. You know, it's fine. Probably doing a little bit of it, playing poker. That's not violent at all. They're doing perfectly fine things. They're not having a fist fight or stabbing each other in the next room. Not at all. We get into our room, and there are 2 singed holes in our sheets. Either they're bullet holes or they are cigarette burns. Either way, we don't really like it. And about head level on the wall, there are 2 clearly plastered marks. The plaster was about this big, and they were head level on the wall in front of the beds. Bullet holes. They were bullet holes. We were sleeping in a room that took place in a drive-by shooting. There were red things surrounding the bottom of the cabinet in the room. We couldn't open one of the cabinets in the nightstand because it was locked, and the other one didn't have anything in it. You know, they usually have like a Bible or like a pen or something. Nothing. They covered in sticky brown residue. I don't know what that was. I closed the door, opened the closet. There's a safe in the closet. Tried to open the safe. Couldn't open the safe. The safe in our room is locked. Cocaine. Cocaine. You open the bathroom. The side of the shower is like covered in some brownish red stuff all over it. This whole place looks like a crime scene that someone pooped on. I'm not even joking. Like, the floor is sticky. So we're just waiting there, you know, and Ian and I just do the TV on, lights off so nobody figures out that we're in there. But nothing actually went wrong in the hotel. We just were extremely scared, and we made this comedy skit that's there. Hope you enjoy it. Alright guys, so this is going to be our first night in a motel, and I think we're going to have some fun. How about you, Ian? Okay. Good night, guys.
Carlos, I love you so much more than my husband. Hey, Carlos, man, what are you doing with my wife, man? I'm sorry, Jorge, I didn't mean it. You can have some of my coke, man. No, Carlos, this is the last time you do this to me. You need to die. No, Jorge, I'm sorry, man. Please don't do it. Jorge, thank you so much for saving me from Carlos. No, woman, this is the last time you cross me. You need to die too. No, Jorge, I'm sorry, I didn't.
Oh, you're done with it? Okay. So, the rest of the night, pretty fine. My dad gets up before us because we gotta catch a plane about 9 o'clock, which is real early for us, where we're going. And my dad gets up before us. He goes to the hotel lobby. He makes his own waffle. He eats the herpes waffle, and Ian and I don't, because we probably aren't immune to herpes and we don't want it. So we haven't eaten last night since 8 o'clock at Wendy's. We leave knowing that we left the shadiest place on earth. Thank the Lord. It was so shady there. It was, you couldn't get enough shade. Like, shade was being thrown everywhere. I'll make it funny somehow. We go to the airport, and I'm carrying 3 bags, not nearly as heavy as Ian's, because his Xbox is in one, and his clothes are in the other, and that makes both of what he's carrying very heavy.
Ah, bravo Figaro, bravo bravissimo, ah, bravo Figaro, bravo bravissimo, a te fortuna, non mancherà. La 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 la.